have the slightest thought of leaving and going home and watching the game and doing anything else, forget about it. Because downstairs is an orchestra you won't believe your ears. In the lobby of the Fidelity building is an orchestra that comes from 22 countries, young people that are going to play for you. So whatever you're doing, cancel it. Right. And what happened was this lady sitting here, this Mark and this lady had this genius idea of putting together an orchestra of young people from 22 countries called the Youth Orchestra of the Americas. And it's downstairs in this present form. We're here for 3 weeks studying and learning. And then we're going out on the road. Tomorrow night, we're in Hatshell, giving a public performance at the Hatshell. And the whole thing is a kind of a miracle. The whole thing. You know, the most amazing thing, I think the Abreu revolution is the greatest example of social engineering in modern times, what he's done in Venezuela, and now what's been spreading out all over the world, and it's going to come here too. The most amazing moment for me, and we've been many times to Venezuela to see it, was he persuaded us to come and hear a choir. He said, you've got to come Sunday morning to hear this choir. And the kids in the orchestra, my orchestra, the youth orchestra from Boston, they didn't want to get up at 9 o'clock on Sunday morning. They said, Mr. Zander, we don't want to come. I said, you have to come. Mr. Abreu says we have to come. So they bedraggled American teenagers came down, sat in the back row with their hair curlers looking miserable. And suddenly this choir started. And the choir consisted of blind people. Well, we know that blind people can do music. And then mentally retarded people. We know they can too. And the third part was deaf people. Huh? Deaf people singing in a choir. Well, they weren't actually singing. They had white gloves on, and as the music went, they were dancing with their hands. And I've never seen this before. 100 American teenagers on a Sunday morning with tears streaming down their face. This is a revolution that's going on in the world, and it's affecting everybody. Last night, there was a concert, 3-hour concert at Jordan Hall of folk music, all these young people playing folk music. And at one moment, one of the trumpet players said, we need somebody to come up and sing. And a little girl of about 5 went up on stage to sing. I mean, she was a little American girl, and it was a Mexican song. But it didn't matter. And when she finished, she did the most amazing bow. She went like this, woo, like that. And everybody went, bravo! And it's all about breaking. You see, revolution is about breaking assumptions. We make assumptions. And then the question is, what assumptions are we making that we don't know that we're making? Deaf people can sing. A 5-year-old child can stand up and get applause for a song that she's never heard. I mean, it's an amazing thing. Last night, one of the pieces that was played was written by the first clarinetist in the Beethoven Symphony you're just about to hear. Beautiful boy with red hair. He never heard classical music till he was 20, because in the little village he came from, where's he come from, Julia?
Argentina.
From Argentina.
Guillermo?
Argentina. Yeah, Argentina.
No, Colombia.
Colombia, exactly. In Colombia, he said, in the village I had come from, there is no classical music, so he didn't hear any till he was 20. Now, he's a professional classical musician. It's a miracle. And he's a composer, and he wrote a piece. And he played it last night with 20 of his friends. And then he said, just before he played it, I wrote it for my sister, who died last week. And that's what the audience did. They went, oh, like that. And then the most happy piece, and he got people up dancing. Everybody was dancing and singing, and the piece for his sister who died last week. We make assumptions, always assumptions. And revolution happens when we ask that question. What assumptions are we making that we don't know that we're making that give us what we see? And what could we invent that we have not yet invented that will create something new? And that's what this revolution has created, against all the assumptions. So don't think of going home before you've heard, because the music we're going to play is the ultimate revolutionary. Beethoven, right? Beethoven's Fifth Symphony, not the whole thing, but we're part of it. Yeah. And you're going to hear a revolutionary interpretation of it, because you think you know the Fifth Symphony. Ba, 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 ba. You remember that? Ba, ba. Some people even know, everybody knows ba, 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 ba. And some people even know ba, 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 ba. Right. Everybody, right? But what you're going to hear is something completely different, right? Because you have assumptions about how that piece goes. But these young people have been working all these 3 weeks, passionately engaged, and they are the leaders going to go out into the 22 countries and teach other people that music is the most powerful force there is in the world. And you know, we assume that success is measured in wealth, fame, and influence. Those are the main 3 categories: how much money we have, how much influence we have, and how much fame we have. Over here, we measure success only in how many shining eyes there are. That's the measure of success. Now, that's a new world. I had the privilege of talking to Mr. Mandela when we were together at the World Economic Forum, and I said, Mr. Mandela, I said, you are the first conductor of Symphonia. He said, oh, what is that? I said, Symphonia, the sounding together of all the voices. You were the first leader who listened for all the voices. And he said, I like that. So we have introduced a new idea for the world, that the old world of leadership, which is top-down, hierarchical, right-thinking, and male, might be replaced by a new kind of leadership, which is Symphonia, where we listen for all the voices. And what you're going to see downstairs is 78 extraordinary young people who are passionate, engaged, and extraordinarily masterful, who are going to play for you downstairs. So I'm going to stop now, although I think I have more time, but I didn't want it. What I want you to do is to get downstairs as quickly as possible. Really run downstairs and don't miss a note and sit, because the best seats will go quickly. So the faster you run.
So before you run, Ben, we're going to let you run and get ready. We're going to do some closing comments up here, and then we're going to come down and join you. Very short. We're going to run. We're going to run. Thank you.